How do I, Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of ParanormalWarehouse.com review, where we talk about stuff that has been going on recently in Paranormal Warehouse. And how you doing there, Chris?
I'm great. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good. You got up pretty early for this little event.
I did. I'm dedicated.
That's what Robin said.
Dedicated.
So, I guess we'll jump right into this. First thing I wanted to talk about, there was a forum post, and that forum post was written by Mary Morbid. She is relatively new to the site. She's been very active. Hello, Mary. Thank you for being a part of ParanormalWarehouse.com. And she wrote a little ditty about skeptics and whether we should really be working hard to scientifically prove this stuff, or if we should just kind of accept that it exists. Great discussion going on in there. I think they actually moved it over to the forum, so you can either check it out in her blog or in the forum. There's a link. Bryce, can you not ruin my flow?
Excuse me, sorry. I
Come on.
Apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But I wanted to see what you had to think about this. Do you think we should continue to try to scientifically prove this? Some people say it's a joke. Why are we even trying? Other people, some people kind of demonize the skeptic and say that they're just kind of bringing down the whole paranormal situation. What do you think?
I mean, I think we should definitely still try to prove it scientifically, because then there's no if we could do that, then there's no reason to be a skeptic anymore. Like, yeah. we could be like, well, here's finally fact, not paranormal TV and reality, and being like, well, this is what we're catching, and da-da-da. Now, I mean, I could totally understand a skeptic, like, especially with everything that goes on, and like, and what could tie into this also is Dover Paranormal Bill, his posts, about being frustrated with all the stupid stuff that's coming out, like the apps and all that stuff, and how there's no scientific backing to it, and apparently everybody's just like, it works. And you can tie that into it. So if you're a skeptic, that stuff isn't helping our cause, Yeah,
I mean, I think the term skeptic, I think it's just people that are trying to analyze the situation, and I don't like the term believe, that people believe that the paranormal exists. I think that maybe we should throw out the term skeptic and just, like, I guess I would consider myself a skeptic, not in the negative term, just that I'm not going to blindly believe something that's put out there. I'm going to want evidence. I'm going to want to see some backing. I'm going to want to see it be recreated. So I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to know more and not just automatically accepting these things. I was actually going to talk about Bill's post, and there's a lot of technology out there, especially the apps. Huh?
Sorry, I jumped the gun. I didn't know you were going to dive into that.
I don't care. But things like these phone apps, they say on it, this is for entertainment purposes only, so that they don't get sued when people say this doesn't, quote unquote, find ghosts or whatever. So I feel like the problem is that people are watching the shows and they're given this equipment and they just automatically think, this is what I'm going to use to find ghosts, and people really don't know what they're doing. So the idea of a skeptic is, I think we should change it from a negative term to something that is actually sort of benefiting the field, which is pushing people to dig deeper and to actually do real research, because we've said this before, what's the point if we're just going around waving this technology around and saying that ghosts exist? It's right. I mean, it's fun, I guess, for some people, but
I mean, if you're dedicated and into this, there should be no reason why you wouldn't want it to be more scientifically proven. Or if you're investigating, do it more of a like scientific research, basis, so that we could all start figuring it out. Basically,
look at you dropping shit.
Sorry.
What about the kids?
Can you bleep that? Can you bleep that in post?
Yeah, I'll bleep that. So
I just get angry. I get passionate about it, Michael.
I know, me too. It's early in the morning and even earlier for you. So
yeah, the sun's not even. It's just
there. It is. It's peeking through.
And it's
by the way, if you're in the comments, let's talk about Breggs' newly shaved dome. It's a good shaved head right there. It's not looking bad.
There was a barbershop mishap and something needed to be done.
Now the question is, can I post that picture?
You can. I'll let you post that picture. Because
man,
I'm dedicated, Michael.
I know you're dedicated, so it's probably up right now, and I hope you guys are enjoying. So we always have to have our little shticks here. If you guys don't know, we have a store on TeePublic, which makes some awesome t-shirts. These t-shirt designs are actually created by random people, and they're thrown up on TeePublic, and we have a nice collection on there of paranormal ghosty shirts. I think they're pretty cool.
They're awesome.
Breggs has bought a numerous shirt.
A majority.
Yeah, you bought most of them. Yeah, they're good quality. They're nice. We'll throw some samples up there. So check it out. They're pretty cheap, good quality shirts. Help keep us going here. On to the next thing.
Sure.
We head over to Twitter, where people tweet.
Ooh.
You ever hear about that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it too. So, actually, Breggies here is our social media master, and he threw out the question, do you think people in the paranormal field can be too critical of others' evidence? And what happened, at AKinney78 said, you have to be. It's amazing how many noises can sound like voices when you mark your audio. Like a zipper could sound like help me. I agree. I think that we have to be more critical of evidence, and I think that people have to stop being butthurt, for lack of a better term, of people giving some constructive criticism towards their evidence.
Right. I mean, I get people being very protective over what they caught.
But why?
And obviously, well, because obviously they were the ones in the situation. They were the ones there. Fine.
Okay.
I think being critical is good, but I can understand people being protective. Now, but you could be protective over your evidence, but you don't have to be a jerk about it if somebody is critical. Like you can't take that as an insult. You should take it as a compliment. You should take it as a compliment of like somebody's looking at your evidence and is helping you like figure out what it was.
That's a perfect way to say it, actually.
Like taking the time out of their day to be like, well, I actually like your evidence, but I think it's this. Like that's a compliment of somebody going out of their way to be like, yo, let's work on this together.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you don't have to take what the other person says. If you think that it's something, then you think that it's something. And you should be hearing everyone's point of view, I feel.
Right.
You know? There's no reason to get upset. People do mean things all the time. It's on. I think people are just trying to get conversation going and talk about this stuff, which is...
Being critical of somebody's work isn't also turning that person into a bully or whatever else. I know we've gotten a lot of slack of people on the website being critical of other people's stuff.
Well, we're bullies, Breggs.
Yeah, apparently we encourage this behavior. And that's BS because we want people to be critical, but we're not saying be a bully and be a jerk about it. Like if you go up to somebody's piece of evidence video and you're like, well, this is a load of crap, you can bleep that out too if you want.
I think crap slides.
But if you do that, I mean, that's different. But if you're writing a comment and you're like, well, I think it's this, or I think it's that, or I hear this, or I don't think this is that, that's not being a bully. That's just being friggin' honest. So.
Yeah, and you're just talking about it. There's so many people that once you say one negative thing, they completely shut off and leave. We've had people leave the website or cancel the membership just because someone talked about or questioned their evidence, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, let's grow up. How about that?
Let's grow up.
Let's grow up. Let's be adults here.
You know, like that movie Big with Tom Hanks. He wasn't ready to grow up, though. He wanted to be a kid for a little bit longer.
Well, it's time to grow up.
Question number 2 from Breggs. On a scale of 1 to 10, how real do you think evidence is from paranormal reality shows? We got an answer from @AGHafford42. And Andrea says, that's a good question. I take a 10 being real. So she would say 10 being real, 1 being not real. She would go a 4 or a 5. What do you have to say about that?
You said...
So, from what I've heard, I'm going to interject. I'm sorry. I've heard, let's use Ghost Adventures, for example. I hear that they are in contract with Travel Channel that you are not allowed to falsify anything, just from the Travel Channel. So, what I feel...
I didn't know that.
I don't even know if that's real. That's what I've heard, okay? I heard it from a bunch of people. So... You know, because they do travel shows like, I don't know, whatever, Anthony Bourdain and all that stuff. And I guess they can't make up stuff about where they are or something just to protect whatever.
Right.
So I hear that's a clause for the station as a whole. But that doesn't mean that you can't hear something and classify it as paranormal because you thought that it was paranormal, because there's this line of, I don't think that they could play an audio recording. But I think that they could maybe, wiggle around what they think may be paranormal or not.
Right, but, okay, so to that point, maybe, though, for that clause with Travel Channel, maybe Ghost Adventures just can't falsify any information on the location. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the history or whatever else on the location, but any evidence they caught... or didn't catch could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could maybe falsify that, but they just can't falsify historic evidence or information on the location itself.
Sure. I totally agree with that. I think that there are times where they kind of blow things out of proportion just because maybe they don't have anything. I don't know if they necessarily actively fake whatever. I have seen some incredible things on the television shows, and I know that it is TV or whatever, but, I think you got to take it with a grain of salt?
Yeah, I think that's what it's saying.
All right. So, out of Twitter, what's on our store now, Breggs, that you have? It's the bumper stickers we talked about. It's the bumper stickers we talked about 5 minutes ago. Literally talked about it 5 seconds before we started doing this.
Well, yeah, we now have ParanormalWarehouse.com bumper stickers in the Paranormal Warehouse store, and this is huge because this is the first piece of Paranormal Warehouse stuff that we are actually selling out of our store.
Yeah, we're poor, so we've got a bunch of these things for contests and stuff, and they're just sitting around. So we figure we throw them up there. If you want some Paranormal Warehouse swag, what do you say it was going to be? $3.50?
$3.50. I have one on my car. I might even put another one on my car because the one I have on is looking a little raggedy. I'm gonna get that going.
Look at who just pushed her way in. Say hello. What a butthole. All right. So, that's pretty much the show. Thank you guys for listening, as always. Thank you for joining up, the members that have joined since the last episode. Breggies, thank you for joining in. And next time, soon, we'll have some new cool stuff from ParanormalWarehouse.com.
Sounds good. Buy a bumper sticker.
Buy a bumper sticker. Rubber baby bubby bunkers.
Okay, good talk.
All right, goodbye.